For the past 24 hours, the term alt-right has been the only thing we've been talking about, basically, in the worlds of politics and media. Here to help us understand what that phrase means better is Heidi Beirich, the Intelligence Project Director for the Southern Poverty Law Center, who comes to us from Montgomery, Alabama, and Bloomberg's Washington, D.C. Bureau. Business Week's Josh Green, who's a big expert in Steve Bannonology. We'll get to you in a little bit, Josh, but let me start out, Heidi, with you. Alt-right, please, define.
Well, look, I mean, this is just basically the latest rebranding of white supremacy, but with sort of a techie vibe to it. Folks who are in the alt-right believe that white people should run the country. They want policies that are in favor of white interests. They're xenophobic. They don't like immigrants. They don't like Muslims. And in many ways, this is the same kind of ideology that's been coming from white supremacists forever, except they're very good at Twitter and pushing memes and those kinds of things, and that distinguishes these younger racial activists.
Heidi, the Trump campaign, the Clinton campaign is accusing the Trump campaign of essentially letting this go, of not saying anything when there are examples where this ideology is being encouraged. I'm wondering, is there anything coming out of the Trump campaign that you can point to specifically that you identify as being a dog whistle to the alt-right?
I mean, look, Trump, since the day he announced in June of 2015, has been saying things. He's not dog whistling, he's bullhorning, saying things to white supremacists that they like to hear. Mexicans are rapists. Muslims should be banned. We're going to build a wall. I mean, there have been many, many things that he said, including directly retweeting white supremacist material that speaks directly to these people. They feel that they have found their voice in politics with Donald Trump.
So, Josh, I want to ask you in the context of Republican Party politics. There's been, ever since Hillary Clinton's speech yesterday, there's been a little bit of an internecine fight breaking out among Republicans and conservatives over what alt-right means. Hugh Hewitt has a much broader definition than the one that Heidi's putting forward. He basically says any anti-immigration reform of any sort, and anti-Paul Ryan and Mitch McConnell club. That's the broad alt-right. So just talk a little bit about the debate now among Republicans about the meaning and importance of alt-right.
Sure. Well, part of the problem is there is no one agreed upon definition of alt-right. I mean, I tend to think of it as including everything from white supremacists and neo-Nazis to, 20-year-olds in their parents' basement tweeting offensive, racist, and anti-Semitic things at reporters, which has been another evolution we've seen this political cycle. But the problem for Republicans is that if you have a nominee who is tweeting and retweeting this stuff and hiring as his campaign CEO the head of a website that is widely considered an alt-right platform, then essentially, you have brought that into the party. And to me, the most striking thing about Clinton's alt-right speech is that you did not have Republican Party leaders like Mitch McConnell, like Paul Ryan, coming out and defending Trump and attacking Clinton, saying, no, this is unfair. This is not what we stand for. Instead, it's been crickets. Everybody has been quiet, and they've left it to Trump and his Twitter feed to respond.
Heidi, we've seen the focus on the alt-right increase with this Clinton speech, and anyone who's trying to get a sense of it is probably trying to wrap their head around just how many people are there in the United States who subscribe to this ideology. Is this still a small fringe, or is it growing? How would you characterize it?
It's hard to know exactly how many people are involved in these movements, first of all, because they don't like to disclose it. I mean, in the past, they've been very not public about their activities, but I can give you a little bit of a sense. One of the largest hate forums on the web has 300,000 registered users, for example. And we know that some of the websites like Daily Stormer, the really anti-Semitic, self-proclaimed alt-right site, has thousands and thousands of people who go on that site every day, and in fact is the most read of these kinds of racist websites. We're probably talking several hundred thousand, maybe a million. It's hard to know, but it's a lot of people. And of course, the appeal for some of this stuff goes wider than just people who are involved in this hardcore politics.